Thank you so much, Naz. Right, our top story for Thursday morning. The fallout from Rishi Sunak's first Tory party conference speech as PM continues. Yesterday, he announced a series of sweeping reforms, including the scrapping of the northern leg of HS2, axing A-levels, and rather controversially, raising the legal smoking age.
Well, joining us now in the studio is TalkRadio's political editor, Peter Cardwell, fresh-faced from the Tory party conference. Peter,
Who wrote that script?
Don't go that far.
That was an ad-libbed moment for me. How was the speech received yesterday on the ground?
Certainly on the ground in the conference hall, the people who'd gone to party conference were really happy with it. I talked to a number of MPs and said it was brilliant, they were happy with it. What's interesting is the reaction from former prime ministers. So Rishi Sunak essentially trashed the last 30 years of politics, mostly Conservative politics, and of course HS2, a big cross-party project that Gordon Brown's not happy with, David Cameron's not happy with them scrapping it, Boris Johnson's not happy with them scrapping it, George Osborne's not happy with them scrapping it. So a lot of the big beasts from the past essentially saying this is the wrong decision, but a lot of people in the hall saying it's the right decision. £36 billion worth of transport funding going into other projects, resurfacing roads, sorting out buses, dealing with other trains as well.
That's the interesting thing for me, and your family are from the north. Billions of pounds, Pete, what was it, 30 that became 100 being spent on this rail line. It's not even that. Is that money not better spent on infrastructure in the north? Are you going to regenerate the north simply by paying hundreds of millions of pounds for a rail line? Or is he in fact right? I don't know. It's really interesting to me.
Rishi Sunak's argument is that things have changed dramatically. So many people do meetings on Zoom now and equivalents. They're not travelling the same way. Not as many people are going into work. This was the line between Birmingham and Manchester. It was through Crewe. It also went in a different direction up to the East Midlands. That bit has now been scrapped. And he's saying that actually the priorities are different. He's saying the facts have changed, therefore he's changed his mind.
But this is as a result of COVID. But he's supposed to be the Prime Minister providing making long-term decisions. Why should we completely scrap this long-term project purely because of COVID? Surely, people having Zooms, etc. It's our reality right now. But I don't think we will necessarily be doing that in 10 or 20 years. People will get back to
That's certainly the argument of a lot of people, Nicola, a lot of these former Prime Ministers certainly, and people who really think that HS2 is a good idea. The big question as well is fascinating. Got next week, I'm heading to Liverpool for Labour Party conference.
Describing politics, it's fascinating. Peter Cardwell, the political nerd. I love it.
It's fascinating to me, Jeremy. So, literally get paid to talk about this. It's amazing. In Liverpool next week, the question for Keir Starmer very clearly is, are you going to bring HS2 back? And that's a big one because this is a huge decision and lots of public money.
All eyes on Starmer next week.
Yeah.
There's loads I want to talk to you about, and you've got to go back to bed, obviously. This A-level scrapping, and the big thing, smoking. We're going to be doing a debate later on. Stub it out. Are you pro or anti again? We'd love your thoughts. This was quite controversial.
Very controversial. It's what New Zealand have done to say that if you're a 14-year-old now, they're just going to raise the age to buy tobacco 1 year every year as time goes on until it gets to a stage where nobody is buying tobacco, basically saying that, stubbing out smoking completely. It's interesting from a Conservative perspective because you're taking people's liberties away. Look, 1 in 4...
The nanny state again, my friends.
Look, 1 in 4 cancers is linked to smoking, so lots of people say it's a good idea, and he's giving people what's called a free vote. So usually if you're Conservative, you've got to vote with the Conservatives, Labour got to vote with Labour. So it's a free vote in Parliament. MPs can vote however their conscience decides. It'll be really interesting to see what happens, and so much lobbying and so many discussions around that as well.
But they say that it's going to be 14-year-olds currently will never be able to legally smoke in this country. Why 14? Why would it take 4 years? Because the smoking age is already 18, right? So would it take 4 years to implement?
It'll take a long time to implement,
Wow.
Exactly. It's a long-term decision,
It's
Nicola.
a long-term decision for something that he wouldn't even be potentially in power for.
Why can't people make up their own minds about whether they want to smoke or not?
Because it's addictive, Jeremy.
Right.
Well, we're going to be having that debate later. It's obviously such a it's a kind of populist issue, isn't it?
It's a massive issue. Everyone will have an opinion on it.
Of course.
And also, I think the other thing with the 4 years thing is you've got to give the industry a bit of notice as well of what's happening. You know, we've seen that, of course, over electric cars.
So all of yesterday could, in fact, be completely irrelevant because he could lose in 12 months and none of this will actually happen.
Yes, Keir Starmer can change all of it if Keir Starmer becomes Prime Minister.
I really, really want to hear from you this morning. I mean, if you sum it up, Pete, for me, and I'm going to ask people their opinion, the front of the Mail says, PM's common sense revolution, pride in family, pride in Britain, pride in the party of aspiration and genuine diversity. An unequivocal statement as well that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. Their headline, Day Ritchie gave Tories a reason to believe he can save us from Keir's wokery. Many other people saying, it's fudging, it's electioneering, it's too late. What do you make of it? Was it a success? Does it change you as a voter? Are you one of those floaters? That doesn't sound right, but there's loads of floating voters, aren't there?
There are indeed. And I watched the speech yesterday with my...
God, you're boring as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. With my fiancé, who's a British Indian, whose parents were both pharmacists. He's got a very similar background to Rishi Sunak.
Is your fiancé Rishi Sunak?
No, he's not. He's actually
Nicola Thorpe is married to Rishi Sunak.
Exclusive.
But he was quite angry watching it because, as I was too, because Rishi obviously painted this picture of, you know, Britain gave me a chance, gave my family could come over here and we could start a life for ourselves. But then the policies that he is bringing in is making it more and more difficult for families who are not just fleeing war-torn countries, but places like
France?
No, places like India, people who've migrated to Uganda and are coming from East Africa. He's making... So the opportunities he's had in the UK... He's now shutting those doors behind him.
Whatever you think about it, if you are for Rishi Sunak or against Rishi Sunak...
You didn't even let them hear what I thought about it.
Well, come on, go on then.
I've finished now.
Have you finished now?
Yeah, I have.
Go on then, give the number out.
OK, you can text TALK and your message to 87222, or you can email us, as always, talktoday@talk.tv. Peter Cardwell, thank you so much for joining us. Still to come...